Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, faithful viewers, to another episode of Opinions Mostly Podcast. I'm your host, Nick the Shark Herbst, and sitting directly across from me, yet again, unfortunately, not in the flesh, which was amazing. If you haven't checked out those episodes, you need to go check them out. Sitting here across from me, via screen, the one and only Joe Rich Boys Spolleru. Are you stoked?
I was trying to fool you. Like, oh no, we lose your audio.
Oh, don't worry. I know what you're doing, but you did a really good job. But I could read your lips. That was the problem. I was like, okay, hopefully that audio cuts back in. Well, I'll cheers to that. Also, boom. Just so you know, gosh, this whole blur in the background thing sucks here. But in case you can't see it,
I did a couple of times there.
Did you happen to bring yours, Joe?
No, it's still in Denver. I left mine back in Denver.
That's back in Denver. Unreal.
I'm surprised custom koozies for every game, you know? That's a lot of koozies.
That's actually amazing. They must make a shit ton of money on that and lose a shit ton of money on that.
I mean, can you imagine like a season ticket holder that goes to every home game and then they have a koozie package from this season and then the last season and
Oh yeah, it's got to be fantastic. I got a magnet and I got us pins too. So we have the whole matching set here. And I just want you to remember that day.
Put the pin on the koozie. That's where it goes.
I just want you to remember that ass whooping.
It wasn't an ass whooping.
Yeah, it was. It was an ass whooping to me.
It wasn't an ass whooping.
Speaking of, Joe almost got his ass whooped because he was talking so much shit to all the Packer fans out there in his Rams gear.
I was eating it, man. I just remember I would stare up at the scoreboard and then I was trying to get the camera view of the play, you know, like let's see what the formation is. And every first down Rodgers threw for, I was hearing it and it's like, oh man.
Dude, that was so much fun. I had a blast, dude. I know you.
I think the only time I screamed or let's fucking go a couple times was on that pick off of Lazard, and then when Baker threw that touchdown to Van Jefferson. That's the only time I banged the chair let's fucking go, you know, and then I got quiet immediately after because there's no point in gloating, you know, because the game
shut down. Let's get loud.
I'm just happy that it wasn't a blowout, you know, it
was a blowout
or something, you know.
The momentum never shifted. It never shifted.
Well, it did a little bit. We had that drive, but defensively, we just couldn't stop the ball. Obviously, all the injuries we had. The only two people legit we had on defense was Bobby Wags and Jalen Ramsey. But
that's what I'm saying.
Again.
The feeling inside Lambeau was unreal, and even for you were saying it was just a different vibe.
Oh yeah, it's the advantage. It's the home field advantage factor.
And even when we threw the pick, the air didn't get sucked out of the room. We just got more and more energy. The energy started.
I mean, obviously, I was cheering and hooting and hollering for all of 15 seconds. You know, 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think I was talking to you. Was I talking to you or someone else? How did that pick happen? I think I was talking to you about that, right? During the game?
Oh, yeah.
It was either you or a Packer fan next to me.
I was going to say, you were talking a lot to those other guys because you're on the far side.
They were cool. No, they were very cool with me and shit.
Joe was blitzed, dude. He was like...
They didn't mind. Well, I was talking to the guy. I was like, what do you think? How do you think that happened? He's like, oh, yeah, that's just miscommunication from Lazard and to Rodgers on that throw. That's what.
Screw the game. I'm talking about our experience, dude. I was talking about.
For sure.
The goddamn game. No,
experience was great.
What do you expect?
That bratwurst was long, dude. That was a huge bratwurst. Remember?
Yeah, that bratwurst was like 3 feet. No.
Yeah, 3 feet long. We had cheese.
Like as big as my dick. No.
We had the cheese curds going, and it didn't get cold really. We were pretty lone.
The only thing that bothered me was my toes, and I had 2 pairs of wool socks and toe warmers, foot warmers.
Yeah,
that was the only thing that really rubbed me.
For me, it was my cheeks and my nose, but I had the gator, so I just pull it up every so often when I was getting a little brisk for my face. But I was totally warm, man, for whatever reason.
So we sat in section 113. We were field level, right in front of the ESPN booth was right in front of us on the field.
Real quick, I got to tell you about my flight back to Denver. I was sitting next to people that went to the game. They said they were right next to us on our left. I was like, oh, okay.
Did they see us? Did they recognize us? No.
Well, I showed them some of the screenshots or the video I took of, the game and stuff. He's like, oh, yeah, we were just to your left a little bit on the entrance, the staircases, the staircase entrance we were right by. He's like, oh, yeah, we're just a little further down from that.
We should throw some pictures. We should throw some pictures up in this podcast for all those out there watching.
Great. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great. And every time someone would go up to piss, they'd bring back 2 beers, and we just keep filling the beers.
Yeah, we were just kind of doing a conveyor belt. We
Yeah.
bring up beers or food. You know, we like someone's like, all right, I got to do a piss runs. Anyone want any food or any beer? Yeah, I remember.
The thing about Lambeau though is that they don't take cash, so don't bring cash. It's only card.
And we were conveniently right by the pisser and the concession stand for food and beverage too. We were
at one point in the night, you were like, "Let's just take the stuff and walk out."
Oh, the gift store. I mean, like we were like circling around trying to find a checkout. Like, where is it here? I remember.
I was like, "Yeah, we could just take this and walk out."
It took forever to find, dude. That gift stop is huge, man.
Yeah,
it's like almost like a mall.
That shit was awesome. That's such a good time. I'm glad the Packers won. I'm glad we got to experience it. That was my second time there, but
and I'm sure
second time in those conditions. So
oh yeah, no, the conditions is why you go.
Yeah, and every time I'm there, they always seem to win. So I got to go to every game. Someone give me the season tickets if you want the Packers to win.
God, and that's like we talked about this was like a 70-year waiting list or something.
Yeah, 40 years.
40 years. Yeah, we'd basically be 75 if we were to put our names on there right now.
Yeah, my 9-year-old cousin is on that list, and apparently he's like number 125,000 in line. And at the current rate of deaths and all the other stuff, and people keeping in the family, it would take him 40 years to get there. So
yeah, they don't give
him.
He'd
be 50 years old.
From all the people we talked to, including Mark, they said, "Oh yeah, they just keep it in the family. You know, if they don't want it, they'll just pass it on to someone else."
Yeah, like why the hell would you ever get rid of him at that point?
No, you don't. It's worth its weight in gold.
Speaking our weight in gold, you know who gets gold? The Sacramento Kings. Joe, first of all, I know you're a Kings fan, but where are you at this very time and moment?
I just landed in Sacramento a couple hours ago.
Oh, are you going to a Kings game?
We're going to the Kings game tonight and playing the Washington Wizards. They're on a back-to-back too, so it's going to be. We've had a couple days rest after playing the Lakers on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday.
What is today? Friday?
Yeah, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday.
Well, give us the hot takes. What are you expecting tonight? What are you looking to see?
Well,
where are you sitting?
Where are we sitting? I don't know. I think we paid $90 for the tickets, so they're lower bowl for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some pretty good seats though. I got to talk to Zach. He bought the tickets for us. There's gonna be a group of like 6 to 8 of us rolling deep, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
But I'm just hoping to see. Well, I get to see Domantas Sabonis, the left-handed extravaganza.
Wait, Sabonis who?
Player. He better be an all-star this year. Get to see Fox play. This would be my first game since 2019. I've been back, so I'm just looking for continued success and another W.
Is that it?
When they're still trash, the last decade, we were very selective of what games we would go to because we were trying to find games that they have a chance to win. So the bottom feeder.
Yeah, right. Anything you can get where you can be happy at the end of the.
Yeah. And
wait, let me ask you this: are they going to have cheese curds?
No, but they will have a Drake's Denogonizer on tap.
Drake's? Oh, yeah, because Drake.
You remember the Denogonizer? Like, it's like.
Oh, wait, Drake's a Lakers fan. I was talking about Drake, like Drake, but yeah, Drake's Denogonizer. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that from Oakland? Yeah, that tall boy. God, they got good food.
That shit will fuck you up.
Oh, it fucks you. But they got it on tap all around the arena, which is insane. You know.
Well, what are you expecting to eat tonight then?
We might have a little snack.
Couple wieners. Huh? Big wieners, little wieners.
They got a good cuisine. They got Indian food there, of course. The owner is Indian. You got good pizza selection. They got all the general concessions: hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, nachos. You know, all that stuff. They got a good culinary there. But I'll be going up to the Sierra Nevada tap room at the second floor on the top concourse and gonna get a Sierra Nevada from there.
Hell yeah.
There'll be another buzzball wash night for sure.
I say, just don't get too drunk, man. We drank that every day on our vacation. This is wild.
That's not a detox for 2 days. Yeah, it was.
Kids, do not drink alcohol.
We're back at it now. You with the beer in your hand and me.
Wait, no, this is water.
Yeah, so Bud Light, right?
But
it's Bud Light, right? Water, yeah.
I'm talking about. Anyways,
I'm just looking for continued success. I mean, just the Kings. You know, I was very skeptical at first. They started 0-4, and then they started winning these games. I was like, okay, hold on, let's just pump the brakes here. But no, they're showing that they're the real deal. It's not a fluke. Kind of like how the New York Giants or the Seattle Seahawks are playing this year,
No, jab and a stab.
Not really. It's facts entirely, I think. I think we can all
Real
look
quick,
at it.
we're going to a lot of games lately, all these sports. If you guys want to send us tickets, I'll give you my home address.
Yeah, aren't you going to a game tomorrow?
I am going to a game tomorrow, Joe. Actually, yes, I am. The Tennessee Titans right here, baby. Tighten up. So for Christmas, I got Dad and Mom and me. Celine's working. Tennessee Titans tickets, and we're playing Houston divisional game, but it should be a good. Well,
it should.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Even without Tannehill there, yeah, you guys should win that.
Yeah, it'll be
one too, right?
Also, yeah. Oh, it's like 2 degrees tomorrow, 7 degrees.
Yeah, you got my Arctic blast coming through there finally.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it hit today. That's why I'm not working right now because show got canceled for tonight.
No drop off from when we were in Wisconsin to like now, right?
Yeah, we brought the shit in. It's colder here than it is up there. Everything's frozen over.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, we got good seats again. We're in section 103 or something, like almost where we sat for the Packer game. It's almost the same spot too. It's like right on the corner. But
yeah,
my dad's going in full Packer gear, no fucks given.
Of course he is.
Mom will probably wear a onesie, like a completely decked out Christmas onesie because it's Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be weird looking because I'm gonna have Packer gear on and
then you have a Titan shirt, right, or
Titans,
something, right?
I almost said Vikings. Oh Jesus. Yeah, Titans, Packers, and Predators gear on. Just supporting the home teams and the best team, the greatest team to ever play the game. No, yeah, the Green Bay Packers. Anyways, I'm hoping to see Derrick Henry bust off like 100 yards at least minimum. I think we'll get to 100.
Well, you know what? With the way the Texans have been playing the last couple of weeks, maybe this game could be on upset alert.
I don't know how cold it gets in Houston, but I don't think it's Tennessee weather. Let me tell you that. People are like, Tennessee's hot. No, it's not.
Oh man.
All right. Let's talk football, even though we just were, but let's switch to that whole gear mode here of playoffs, obviously. Looking spicy, super hot. The playoffs are coming up. Actually in our fantasy league. Your boy's putting it to the man right now. I'm in the semifinal now. Let's go.
Playing in the consolation game against Taco this week.
Oh, dude. Taco, that son of a bitch. Eagles versus Cowboys. Both teams are in the playoffs, all right? Who you favoring in the game and in the division to take the division?
Well, Eagles are taking the division, no question. I think the lead is too big for them to lose to the Cowboys.
It's not impossible, though.
It's not impossible, but they have the most Pro Bowl players out of any team.
Pro Bowls.
I know, but it just shows how good their players are, though. That was more the point.
I know, but it's still a joke.
Yeah, it is a joke. Yeah, that's a whole nother rant. They have a solid backup in Gardner Minshew. Remember, you and I were on that Minshew hype train when he's in Jacksonville. He's 7-14 as a starter, so he knows how to win games for sure. And he was 2-1 with the Eagles when he had to substitute in for Jalen Hurts. So I think, oh man, here we go.
So you got the Eagles, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think the Eagles all Minshew has to do is go in there and game manage, And Gardner.
You think he's going to do that against Dak Prescott, who sucked last game and gave it up?
Dallas' defense, they can't get to the quarterback like they used to at the beginning and the middle of the season. Their edge rushing is not there for some reason. So I think Gardner Minshew is going to do just fine.
I'm going to throw the challenge flag on that. Incorrect. They need a bounce back in. It's a divisional game. Minshew's the backup. If they lose to this backup quarterback, they're going to look like fucking fools, first of all. So Dak's not going to let that happen. Zeke's not going to let that happen. If anything, if the defense kind of gives up and doesn't have that pass rush that you're talking about, they're still going to put the points up, I think. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be higher than most people expect.
Oh, I'm taking the Eagles 30-27.
I'll switch that and go – let's go 30-27 in the other direction, or I'll even take 33. I'm on a
33-28 or something.
Yeah. I would definitely take the over in that game.
You're taking the Cowboys?
Yeah. What is the over? Actually, is the over like 42? Because I could also see Philadelphia not scoring that many points.
Oh no, I think Philadelphia's going to do just fine. Their line's going to hold up just fine. Over under is 47. I take the over.
Interesting. That's actually.
Well, you figure 30-27, that's 57 points right there.
That bottles my mind. My mind's all bottled. No,
I'll take the over. Yeah, I'm taking the over on that if I was betting the over under.
do you even know what movie that is?
No. And I also think the Cowboys, I don't know. I mean, they'll have a good solid outing, but I think, Dak being Dak, like I think he might throw a pick or two, kind of how he did last week. One of those picks last week wasn't his fault, but nevertheless.
All of his picks are his fault. He makes poor decisions.
This is a divisional game. It's gonna be the hottest ticket in the country. There's gonna be a lot of Eagles fans that are showing up as well.
Yeah, I know, but it's mind-boggling still.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you guys know what the movie is and you're trying to have a little fun, go ahead, throw it up in the comments. Let's see how many people get it right. All right. Well, switching gears a little bit. I'm taking the Cowboys, but switching gears, it's official. Poor Zach Wilson sucks. They benched his ass for someone that looks like Tim Tebow.
Yeah, man.
The Jags just cleaned up.
Just to analyze.
Well, okay. My question is: the Jets had potentially had a chance to win that division. I think, right? Obviously, with the whole quarterback quarrel and everything that has happened. What's their future going to look like? I mean, Zach Wilson's obviously going to get traded to somewhere. He's getting gone, right? Who's going to step up for quarterback?
I told you, man. Jimmy G, baby. I'm seeing Jimmy G go there.
I don't think so, but okay.
I'm seeing Jimmy G go there, man.
What about Trey Lance instead? Ooh, brain teaser.
No, because we talked about this last week. I mean, maybe what if the Packers traded for him, and then let him and Jordan Love play it out? I mean, there's so many possibilities.
I know we talked about it last week, but I'm saying things change, and I don't see Jimmy G going there at all. I don't even know why that would be.
I'm gonna stand by that.
That is some high bullshit. And then my part two to that question is the Jags. How serious can we take them now? Because honestly, I thought the Jags were a joke team, and they're starting to actually.
This year I knew it would be ground zero again for a second year in a row for Trevor Lawrence with the coaching switchover. But I think they're blossoming right before our eyes. I think last week everyone's talking about how the Cowboys should have won the game. I'm seeing that as a Jaguars coming out party and letting everyone know, like, hey, we're getting better.
Hey, if anyone knows coming out parties, it's you.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, Trevor Lawrence threw for 4 touchdowns. I don't think that's a fluke. And you remember when he beat the Ravens in that go-ahead score on that last drive a couple weeks back as well? I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jaguars are just starting to put the league on notice. Like, hey, we're getting better. Trevor Lawrence is developing. What's their head coach? It's Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson's kind of reinventing himself and letting everyone know, like, hey, I still got that juju from the Eagles game or from the Eagles Super Bowl.
So, as it stands right now, Jacksonville 7-8 and Titans is 7-7.
Yeah.
So depending on what the Titans do tomorrow, if they get upset,
mm-hmm.
that would be fucking horrible. But if they get upset, I mean, I guess it could change the whole entire AFC South.
It can. I mean, yeah, we know the Colts are out of it for sure. We know the Texans are out of it for sure. But yeah, what if with Ryan Tannehill going down, what if the Jags somehow sneak in and win the division? As like a team that's like 8-8 or 9, something like that,
Yeah.
It's definitely something interesting. But I think next year, I think if anything, also the free agency market's going to be really hot for Jacksonville. I think they play in warm weather, they play in Florida, they got Trevor Lawrence, legitimate quarterback. Maybe they can draw some free agents next year and make a run for the division for sure, instead of off a fluke like potentially this year might be.
It's a bold take, my friend.
It's a take for sure.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that article about Trevor Lawrence looking like the Avatar?
Yeah.
And now you can't unsee it. Yeah.
Now I can't unsee it. Thank you very much.
I definitely cannot unsee it either.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Speaking of sneaky picks here, sneaky people, sneaky teams coming up. Detroit Lions, man, surprising everybody right now. They're still on this roll.
Unbelievable.
Still on a tear. They start out crappy, and then they're trying to pull out the season and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, they started out 1-6, and now they've won 6 of their last 7 or something like that.
I think it's like 7 in the last 8. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever they lost that Thanksgiving game against Buffalo, and that was just a buzzer beater field goal.
Well, they always lose their Thanksgiving games, anyways.
I think I was listened to a bunch of people talk about the Lions, and obviously Dan Campbell's got the team bought in for sure. I don't think there's any question with that. But
Everybody loves him. Like, how can I mean you can't not love him.
you can't absolutely him and Vrabel in Tennessee. Absolutely. I think the key thing is Jared Goff. He hasn't thrown a turnover at all the last 6 weeks, and he's been getting the ball out, and he's having really good numbers statistically.
Your old boy.
My old boy, yeah. There was questions about if they're going to move on from him and draft a quarterback next year, but I think he's proven that he can be there for the long haul.
Yeah.
Colin did a side-by-side comparison of Stafford and Goff's numbers career-wise, and they're about equal, which is crazy to think.
No way. That's
different. Stafford has a ring and Goff doesn't, at least yet. But
that's crazy though.
I mean,
I can't see that. They don't play the same. They're both very awkward, like different. I don't know how to explain it.
They can kind of move around.
Yeah, they can like kind of move around. They can kind of throw. Stafford can definitely throw, like when he wants. Like he's got an arm.
He's got a cannon. Yeah, there's no question.
Like Goff has like a dart. Like
yeah,
he can like dart things, but it doesn't always mean he's accurate. It's just two different play styles.
Yeah, but that was the key statistic that everyone was pointing out was Goff has not been turning the ball over. He hasn't been fumbling it. He hasn't been throwing picks or anything like that. And he said he's been making the plays when they're there. So give the Lions credit. Who they got this week? They got, I just saw it here. They got the Panthers this week.
I'd say some shit team I don't believe in. Yeah.
They're on the road against the Panthers. Who knows? Panthers still have some good defensive edge rushers. Maybe they can get
Panthers at 5-9. Yeah. No, I think I took that game in my parlay this week.
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out about that.
Actually, speaking of parlays, I hit last week. We hit last week. If you bet with me, which leads us right into our biggest comeback in history. Because if they would have lost like they were supposed to, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now today. The one and only Vikings pulling off the biggest comeback in history, Joe.
You want to talk about a roller coaster of emotions?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Scott mentions it all the time, even with like last year. It's just watching the Vikings is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. Well, Scott also does. He epoxies his floors and stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't watching the game this week. I can imagine if he watched that game, he'd be like, oh God, here we go again.
Which was literally a game that made history.
He's like, this is a gimme game, and now we're turning this into a blowout. Like we're gonna lose 33-0. Yeah, I think. I was listening to Patrick Peterson and Adam Thielen on Pat McAfee, and they were like, yeah, they just rallied. Defense knew that they needed to get the stops. Offense knew they needed to score, and they were on the same page, and they just got it dialed in. And of course, poor Matt Ryan, he was outscored 28-3 in the second half of the game.
Well, he's haunted by those numbers, like we talked about. He's just
Matt Ryan got benched for Nick Foles this week too.
He needs to play the lotto and play those numbers. That's the only way he's going to make any money.
Yeah. But Minnesota credit, but I think your record set. You are what your record says, but I think there's some issues with Minnesota's defense. Scott even acknowledged it. Scott says that the defense will give up numbers but in big plays, but when it comes down to crunch time, when they need to get a stop or an interception or a forced fumble, they somehow do it.
Well, their offense also slows down too.
Kirk Cousins has the most game-winning drives this year with 7. He leads the league with 7.
Yeah, but like the whole offense as a whole, like you see the energy. Once again, the energy slows down. Like they're going so fast, and they hit a wall when the defense doesn't play right. Obviously, it affects them. It just kind of like the whole team gets affected by
the momentum,
that vibe. Yeah, the momentum. Once again, momentum's everything. Packers playoffs.
There's no question, man. I think. Well, I mean. With Minnesota, we'll see how far they can go. But then it's unfortunate because who would you take? Would you take Minnesota or the 49ers if they're to face each other today,
The Niners.
That's what I'm thinking. If the Vikings and the Eagles meet in the playoffs, who are you picking,
Why? You said today with Minshew? No, I'm just kidding.
I think Hurts will be back in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, obviously. Well, no, duh. Of course he is. They don't need to play him right now.
You take the Eagles, you take the Vikings. I could see that game as a toss-up. And then the Cowboys, I mean, they got their brakes blown off by the Cowboys. They've been winning all these games, but then you look at who they have to potentially match up in the playoffs and the further rounds. I think there's some questions.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's keep moving. NFC North again, the Packers playoffs. We have a small chance. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a tiny chance we can get in.
It's
Joe,
like Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance?
that's exactly why I quoted it, baby. That's exactly why I quoted it. Uh, like a 12.5% chance.
How confident are you feeling? Well, right now it starts with Miami. You got to win this game in Miami this weekend.
Which is going to be a pain in the ass. Honestly, I'm at the point where I've been a Miami fan this whole entire year, and I don't want to root for Miami, but I'm saying if it's going to happen, let it happen now, so I don't have to pay attention for the rest. For
Who's Alexander going to be faced up on? Is he going to be on Parker or Cheetah?
Tyreek,
Yeah.
probably
Cheetah.
Tyreek.
Yeah,
I would imagine, which opens things up a little tiny bit
Levante
for
Parker.
Waddle, but also Waddle, Parker's he's like on some shitty team now. Well, he's always on it. He's nothing. Anyways, Waddle is on my fantasy team in my fantasy league and should hopefully be able to put up some points due to this. So I'm
is your defense going to be able to pass rush and get the Tua? That front four?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think if anything, we'll get 1 to 2 sacks, maybe. I would say we'll get at least one, but that'll probably be luck.
Starts with that, and then the Giants have to lose outright too. They're playing the Vikings this Sunday, so there's that, or Saturday, excuse me. So there's that. And then the Commanders have to lose out too, and they're playing the 49ers this weekend as well. So
they should lose that. No.
And then the Seattle Seahawks, they're playing
the Sea Pigeons.
They're playing the Chiefs. So those are the three that are taking your spots.
See, I'm going to take Seattle as an upset alert, honestly, if I'm talking. Yeah, dude, definitely.
They've been coming down that high for sure.
I know, and that's why they're not going to keep going down that. And I think the Chiefs are due for an upset, and I think this.
I think if there's an upset, or is the Texans potentially?
Of course you would, because you're just a giant butthole. All right, so the Packers do have a chance. We just went over it. Small chance. Obviously, I'm still rooting for them.
We should know what's going on by the time Monday comes rolling around.
I think next year we're getting dialed in finally. It's just a little too little, too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're starting to get a vibe. We're making connections on the offensive side with Watson. He's finally stepped up and assumed his role, and Lazard stepping up because Watson's stepping up. Cobb was actually disappointing during our Monday night game, which I was surprised at. I was shocked at. He came through in the clutch on a couple of third downs. I was like, yeah, and some of them.
Well, that's what he's there for. He's not there to be a guy. He's just there to make a couple plays.
I know, but you weren't paying attention because you were hammered and not talking, but he was making the wrong reads. He was going he was making bad steps. And then it was he would drop balls or they'd get thrown because they weren't making the connections.
Romeo Dobbs, we still got to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, Dobbs, I don't know. He's a toss up still. He's where Lazard was
Monday night he made some plays, but then I'm sure
it's inconsistent.
I'm sure this weekend he'll get two attempts and won't catch any of those balls, or something, right?
Yeah. All right, let's get to wrapping this up. What's our facts entirely right now, Joe? Facts entirely.
So now we're getting into playoff season here, and we're talking about wild card spots and positioning and all this stuff, So I got to thinking, how many wild card teams have gone on to win the Super Bowl? So since the wild card system began in 1970, only 10 wild card teams advanced to the Super Bowl. Of those 10, 6 won the big one. These teams are the 1980 Oakland Raiders. They finished second in their division, so they were a wild card, and they won out. Won the Super Bowl against the Eagles, 27-10.
So the Raiders actually, not.
That was during their glory days, the 80s. Yeah, that was during their glory days.
Glory days.
The next team was the 1997 Denver Broncos. That was with John Elway, Shannon Sharp, and crew. They finished second place. They were 12-4, and they finished second in their division. What? Oh man, that's insane. I should look up who won that division, but maybe another time for another day. And they won outright against the Green Bay Packers, 31-24 in the Super Bowl that year. The other team was the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. That was that powerhouse defensive team. They finished 12-4 again, and they won outright against the New York Giants, 34-7. Next team that did it, second to last team that did it. Oh, three more actually. The 2005 Pittsburgh Steelers. They finished second in their division, and they beat the Seattle Seahawks 21-10 in that Super Bowl in 2005. And of course, we all know about the infamous 2007 New York Giants. That was the year that they not only won the Super Bowl, but they upset Tom Brady in their perfect season with Randy Moss.
Go Brady.
That was also a notable year because that was Brett Favre's last year as a Packer. I'm sure you remember that walk-off field goal in the conference game.
Very, very well.
And then the last team that did it was your Green Bay Packers, the Aaron Rodgers only ring. They finished 10-6, second place in the division, and went on to beat the Steelers 31-25 in that Super Bowl.
Hell yeah, dude. That was when I was like, the future is here finally. And then like that
was it obviously goes without saying, well, if you can catch fire and you get hot at the right time, you can just ride it one game any given Sunday, right?
I have a 12-year-old mug that, has him in the Super Bowl on it. It's 12 years old.
And also, a lot of these teams were healthy too going into the postseason. That was another key thing.
Well, healthy's harder to do nowadays, With the COVID vaccines and no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, all right. Just kidding. I'm immunized. Don't worry. All right. Let's finish up with the Shark Chomp bet of the week here.
Boom, baby. Let's go. I hit last week. We hit as a team. If you bet with me, but none of you ever do, sign up for the crew so I can get money too. No, okay. That's my Drake rap. I got a 4-leg parlay for y'all. All right. You ready? Cleveland Browns, money line, baby, against the New Orleans Saints. Cleveland Browns, they need a win, dude. They need a win. Why? What better time than now? What better place than here?
Struggling. Deshaun Watson needs to get on track. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is money in the bag. Detroit Lions. I'm taking Detroit because they're rolling against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, come on, let's know. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Detroit and how great they are on the hype train.
We're taking
Tennessee Titans. Outright. Money line. That's the money line. I'm taking money line, which is outright. Tennessee Titans, money line. Winning outright again. This one will be closer, but it's going to be a high of like 22 and a low of like 0 or something.
I have this game on upset alert just because of how good the Texans have been playing the last couple of weeks, and Tannehill is out. You'll be hard-pressed to tell me otherwise, Nick.
I am hard-pressed to tell you otherwise. We're going to have Derrick Henry running shit all over that fucking defensive line. He's going to destroy them. I'm saying he's got like 125 yards plus and at least a touchdown. Easy. It's a cold game, too.
Yeah, a lot of running for sure.
Yeah, so that's my third one, and then my fourth team is going to be the Seahawks plus 10 against the Chiefs. This is my upset anyways, but I'm taking the plus 10 because I feel like it'll be closer than most people think. And you'd be hard-pressed to tell me otherwise, Chief.
You won't be when you lose money on that game.
Hey, call me a liar, whatever. I don't care. It's gonna happen. It happened last week with my upset alert. And we won money. What do you want from me? It's not my fault. I can see the future.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
Joe's gonna find a lovely man and settle down.
Oh my God. I'm taking the Chiefs in that one. I don't think there's any question. Patrick Mahomes been on a tear.
You think they're gonna cover 10 points against the Seahawks?
I think so. I'd take it 21-10 or something like that,
All right, I guess we'll find out. You got Kenneth Walker back in the game. Kenneth Walker's going to be putting up a solid run game, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I guarantee you, right now the money line's 10. It'll go down to 9.5 by tomorrow morning for whatever reason,
Yeah, but that's beside the point. They're gonna come in within 3. They might even win by 3.
Oh God.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I think the Chiefs can cover 10, no problem.
I guarantee it. Hey, I guarantee it. If we lose and you bet money on it, send a screenshot and we'll make Joe pay for it.
No.
No. Anyways, I put a $10 bet on those 4 teams. Payouts $82.78. $82.78, baby. Let's go. Just add onto our pile of money.
You can use that money to pay your natural gas bill with running the heater. How cold it is out there.
Easy money, baby. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching Opinions Mostly. It's been a shorter, little weirder episode for us just because, we got family visiting. We're visiting family, trying to hurry up. We didn't have a lot of time because we just came back from vacation, but we appreciate you guys sticking with us to this point. Send us your emails with your hard-pressing questions at opinionsmostlypodcast@gmail.com. please reach out. Send us some pictures of you guys hitting parlays. You know, send us some pictures of you guys in your fan gear. We'll throw them up in the podcast. Let's do it. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe. We love it. We love doing this. This is a lot of fun for us. We love that you guys watch and pay attention because we have no friends. Anyways, Cheers. Go Pack, go Titans. Look for me at the game tomorrow. Look for Joe at the Sacramento Kings game tonight. Thanks for watching, guys.